What's up? It's me, Chris. I am currently driving home. I just came from Carbondale in Illinois, and I helped my girlfriend move in for her college year. Oh, off to a great start. Yeah, she's gonna be a junior soon, so that's crazy to me. We met when we were in high school. And I remember when she was like a senior in high school, I think, and I was a junior. She's a year older than me. But time has gone by so quickly now. We've been together for 2 years and 7 months. I'd say 3 years. I've known her for 3 years, but we've been dating for a little less than that. And yeah, today is Saturday. It's currently 7:40 p.m. It's August 14th, I believe. And it's 2026, right? I'm 19 years old. Man, I gotta stop that. Hold on. All right, that'll do. Yeah, so I'm 19 years old. I am currently starting to become a sophomore at my community college. I go to Moraine Valley. I stay at home, and I do either online classes or, like I will this semester, I do classes at night. Because I also work full-time. I'm working at the forest preserves, which is cool. Not as exciting as I thought it was going to be before I got into the job. More landscaping than actual conservation work, but I enjoy the job. You know, I work with Nick, and he's a really close friend of mine that I bonded with over high school wrestling, and, you know, hanging out with him and Vince. My other really close friend, not so much anymore. I really don't see him anymore. I guess I like to blame his girlfriend. I don't know. Things have just changed. It's not like it used to be anymore. You know, I don't see him really ever at this point. But yeah, the job I've been working, I've been doing it for 3 months. I'm only a seasonal, but I do work 40-hour weeks, and I make $23.80 an hour. So I bring in like $1,500 bi-weekly. So I've been saving up a lot. I got like $9,000 right now. I live with my parents, and I'm doing cheap college. So I think I'm in a good spot right now. The only thing that really scares me and makes me overwhelmed is I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what my future has in store for me. I hope I marry the girl I'm dating. I hope I get a good job. I hope I can have a dog and, you know, live near my hometown and, you know, all this stuff. But I just can't promise that. So it's been really hard. I've been getting overwhelmed a lot recently. I feel like being 19 years old sucks when you don't have everything set up for you. You know, neither of my parents went to college or made any big leaps in life, so they really haven't been much help. You know, of course they have. Like, my dad's putting a roof over my head and making sure I have food every night, and my mom's there for me too. But, you know, I feel like I'm missing like direction in my life. You know, someone to lead me, and I search for that because I want someone to just give me an answer. You know, when I'm between two potential careers or 2 degrees I could get, or, you know, a huge ultimatum, I feel like there has to be an answer, and that as long as I give it enough time and think about it and let it sit, that something is going to magically come up to the surface and give me a yes or no and a direct answer that's going to make sense. But that hasn't really happened at all, and that's the scary part, is big decisions like what I want to do going on and, you know, for the rest of my life. It's like there's no right answer, and there's not going to be any telling sign to what the correct answer would be, and that's scary. You just gotta take a jump, and it's gonna be uncomfortable, and I have to commit to something that I'm unsure about, and I hate that. You know, I like having everything figured out. I like having everything just done, and I don't know, it just freaks me out. So where I'm at right now, I think I will continue working the next 3 months of my seasonal, and then I think I'll apply for full time. I'll probably claim unemployment in the winter, and maybe do a CDL if that's free. I don't know. I'll see how that goes. But if I hop on full time at this job, I'll make like $28 an hour, which would be nice. It means I'll be pulling in like $55,000 a year. which allows me to save up, right? So, I hope 5 years from now I can be making decent money, hopefully living on my own, of course. And I am still torn about why I'm in college. Some are telling me, oh, just do your 2-year degree and then, leave it at that. But I think that's useless. Why pay 10 grand, get an associate's, and then do nothing with it? I don't think it's going to do anything for me. I think it's just going to be a waste. I'd rather get a 4-year degree, and especially how I work in the government. There's programs that you can apply for, and government employees can have their student loans forgiven a little bit. Like 70% of it could be paid off for me, so I can have cheap schooling and just stay home and work full time. So I'm not flooded in debt. I'm just trying to get myself into a good spot here. But if I were to major in anything, I think I've been leaning towards education lately. Maybe like majoring in biology and teaching high school. That seems like crazy to me, but I think it makes sense. I like the idea of the job. I like the time off they get. I like the no weekends. I like the hours in the morning. I think they make good money. Back in my old high school at Sandburg, a lot of teachers do pretty well. They have public salaries, so obviously I've been curious enough to check all of them, but a lot of people commonly stereotype teachers as people who struggle in life and make no money, which is true. It's very true in a lot of areas, but living just south of the city in like pretty wealthy suburban area, in a blue state, I think it's one of the best areas to be a teacher is right here in Illinois. Maybe not in the South, but I feel like I'm in the jackpot area. So I don't think it'd be a bad job. I think I can make 130 grand a year, after a couple of years, and have summers off and be able to travel, because I want to travel. I want to go to other countries. If I don't, I feel like I'll regret that for the rest of my life. I have this really bad itch right now where I just want to use my passport that I just got and just get the fuck out of here. I just want to spend like a month in Europe and have no plan. Just go there and feel things out. Maybe take the buses around and hitchhike. I don't even care. I don't care. I just don't want to be home. I want to be somewhere new. I want to explore. I want to feel like I'm a nomad. I feel like that's really fun. It's just to like have nothing to worry about. There's no plan. There's no nothing. It's just you just go for what feels right. So maybe this winter I'll get the chance to do that once my job lays me off for the after the seasonal. Maybe I'll travel with Nick. We both got our passports together, so it'd be nice if we could use them together. Or maybe I'll go to Mexico with Emily next spring break. I think she mentioned that. That'd be fun to do with my girlfriend. I don't know. There's so many things I want to do. I feel so ambitious and like I want everything all at once. And I think it's going to crush me one day that I can't, So it's best that I realize I can't have everything at once. I can't have every job I want. I can't have every vacation and every trip and every, there's sacrifice in life. I feel like I got to decide wisely upon what I have time for and what I don't. Like for an example, I just had to take a Wednesday class that's 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. Which sucks because I would have been all online school and then I was allowed to do whatever I want. But now that I have this one class, it ties me down. I can't travel and do school at the same time. So there's sacrifices that are starting to show in my life as I get older and become more responsible of my own life. I don't know. I mean, I think things will be okay. I think I worry more than I should. I do get anxious a lot, but that just happens when I think of everything at once. So I've just been trying to live slow and live in the moment. I started like journaling at the start of the summer, so it's been 3 months now, and at the end of every day during the night, I just try to write down as much as I can. You know, I include what I did that day, what I liked, what I didn't, how I felt, who I talked to, who I hung out with, you know, everything. Maybe even how I felt, you know, something I was thinking about or an idea I had. I try to write it down because I want to work on my memory, because I'm scared that I'll grow old and all these times I've spent doing things I love will just kind of slip my mind. I think that's my biggest fear, is losing memory. You know, it's not drowning, it's not burning to death. I think it would be miserable to have dementia and become a vegetable and not remember anything. I think that to me is terrifying, because a life without memory to me is almost nothing. I think it's such a blessing to be able to remember everything, and not everything. I mean, we can't remember everything that happens to us, but you know, be able to look back, because it might be funny, or it might be, you know, maybe a traumatic experience that makes you who you are, or maybe it's remembering something that taught you how to operate a vehicle. I don't know, just anything, remembering anything. I feel like it's really like, most people don't realize how lucky they are to have memory. I feel like it's such a beautiful thing to have, because I'm someone who's always reminiscing, you know, things in the past. And not that I'm stuck in the past and I can't focus on the future. Of course I'm in between and I try to, but I'm someone who takes it very seriously. I started taking a lot more photos, I started taking a lot more videos and trying to jot down stuff, you know, journaling, and even making this video that hopefully I'll look back on in 5 years when I'm a little bit more of an adult. I just think it's really important, because I feel like things are so easy to forget now, and there's not those blank moments in life anymore where people are bored. I feel like everything's filled with, you know, these phones now, and these phones are actually an issue. I mean, I should have listened to my mom when I was a kid. She's right. It is that damn phone. Like every little quiet moment we fill with our phones. You know, it's like you're waiting in line at Dunkin' or something, say you're getting a donut. You know, instead of waiting 3 minutes, you know, just go on TikTok and scroll a couple times, and boom, it's like you time traveled. I mean, seriously. I mean, it happens between every blank moment, and everybody's so used to it, and it's a norm. You know, I feel like the younger generations are fucking screwed, because it's almost a social norm to just go on your phone and avoid interaction, and society is just diminishing because of that. There's no more community, and everyone's so isolated. We live in such an isolated world. You go to the grocery store and you try to talk to someone, they kind of look at you like you're crazy. You go to the gym, cool, everyone's by themselves with headphones on. Good luck meeting anyone. You know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like you're living in a country and we're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to be there for each other. We're all supposed to know someone, right? Like, I feel like everything has become too convenient. Everything is a company. Everything is licensed. Everything is advertised. Like, you know, what happened to like knowing someone who's gonna like help you fix your tire? Like, you know, I don't know if I'm saying it wrong, but I feel like everything is banked off of on, you know, I feel like everything's been banked on. Like there's business revolving everything. Everything is about sales. Everything is about revenue, and it's just sad. I feel like you leave the house and you look around and you go downtown and everything is just trying to sell its product to you, and our phones are not any better. Everything's an ad on our phone. Everyone's trying to promote something, and our phones are curated addiction machines that are perfected by scientists. And I truly do think a lot of people in the future are going to face really high chances of dementia, because looking at a screen all day and watching short videos are going to fry our brains. I think it's a real thing. I think it's going to be bad. I think we're going to have a literacy crisis. I think students are going to struggle to learn. I think kids are not going to be able to write with a pen and paper anymore. Everything's going to be on a Chromebook or a computer. Arts are going to be lost. I think with the new AI, human art and our own natural creativity will be crushed on from the convenience of AI. That's the thing. Everything's convenient. There's no grind anymore, you know? It's just everything feels lifeless. And it feels like there's less intention and purpose in everyday actions, you know? Like, I feel like when I was a kid, you know, being in class really meant something. You knew the people around you, you did every assignment, learning something and having fun even. I don't know why school became such a you know, looked down upon thing in life. I feel like being in school was some of the best moments of my life. But now in school, you know, my last few years of high school, it's like everyone's on their phones, everyone's just trying to cheap out, everyone's trying to AI their essay. It's like nobody fucking cares anymore. Like, nobody cares about anything. Nobody wants to make something. Nobody wants to create. Everybody's just a consumer. We're all consumers of the same mega corporations, and it makes it feel lifeless. It makes it feel like there's no purpose in anything. Everything we do from the morning to the night, just consume. You wake up, you go buy a coffee from McDonald's, and then you go home and watch Love Island, and then you go to Target and buy a bunch of sugary crap, and then no one's cooking meals, no one's creating art, no one's building a home anymore. Like, no one's doing these things. It's rare. I don't know. That was kind of a rant I just went on. I think I'm supposed to be talking about my life so I can look back at it, but that's something I also want to look back on, is my perspective on that, because maybe it will get worse. I think it will. I think people are gonna stuck, you know, there's 10 billion people on this earth right now, and it feels like there's only 3 billion because half of them are zombies. I don't know, but maybe 10 years from now, I can look at myself sitting in this Jeep right now. This is actually Megan's Jeep. This is Emily's mom, my girlfriend's mom's Jeep. So I gotta take care of her. But 10 years from now, I could be watching this video, and hopefully I'm less ugly. I think it's possible. Hopefully I'm happy. I just hope things are going well. I hope I'm living somewhere on my own. I hope I'm with Emily. I hope I have my friends. I hope I have Fred around, you know, Nick, like Andy, you know, Jack, all these guys. You know, I hope they're all around. I hope I can continue to train MMA. I hope I can get maybe one professional fight in. You know, I've already done my first jiu-jitsu tournament, and that went okay at best. I didn't place. Yeah, there's a lot. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Maybe I'll add another video in a couple months. That's all I can think of today. But yeah, I think I ranted well. 18 minutes of video. So if anyone else is watching this other than me, I don't know why. I don't know why you'd watch this. Maybe it's something to you. All I'm gonna say is enjoy your life. You know, one thing I would take away from this is try to make today meaningful. Don't skip time, because I think time is literally the only thing in life you cannot obtain more of. So maybe write down your day today. I would say that if you haven't done that before, jot down what you did today, jot down your feelings, take a couple more extra photos so you can look back at them. You know, do something that's going to make you remember where you were. Prioritize your memory, because memory is such a special ability to have. That's what I'll say. Until next time, see ya.